I know we talked a lot about ports being on the Switch, but here's one that I think is going to happen eventually. What's going on, guys? It is Mason and Delfino. Welcome to a brand new video. Today we are talking about Nintendo Switch again. I know with E3 approaching, I have all these ideas flowing through my mind and I want to talk about every single one of them up until that time. So I have a question for you. There's one game that's just been sitting in the dust since its release on this system. My point is, it's been ported a lot. It's a Nintendo game, and it starts with The Legend of and ends in Zelda, Twilight Princess. Did you figure it out? That's one thing I think will happen eventually. The Legend of Zelda, Twilight Princess will be ported to the Switch. That's just a prediction. I have no confirmation to that at all. But the thing is, let's talk about that, because Nintendo has been very, very busy with The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild development up until its launch, and then they even made post DLC for it after. And I know a lot of people got that. A lot of people really didn't think it was as expensive as people made it out to be. But the point is, it still happened, and people still really enjoyed it. But Nintendo was busy working on that game for so long. It was in development for practically 5 years before the Switch's launch. And it was a launch game, so they had to have it ready. So needless to say, that team was very busy on the job making that game. But you know how they say Zeldas take a while to make? That one took 5 years, I know. It took a minute, I guess. But for something so perfect, it takes time. I love Breath of the Wild. It's one of my favorite Switch games, probably my favorite at this point right now. And it's just one of those things, it is so immersive and so huge. Every time I play, I just appreciate the world around me. There's just so much that goes into it and so much to follow through. Every place is a new place to explore. The side quests are crazy. There's so many of them. The enemies are really cool, and it's just a crazy time. That game is immersive and it is beautiful, and I love it. But Twilight Princess is a game that also took a while. Breath of the Wild's map is 12 times larger than that of Twilight Princess's. Not really necessary to know, but just know that Nintendo probably took a lot more time with Breath of the Wild than most of their other games. Twilight Princess was released on the GameCube as it was on the Wii. I believe it released on GameCube first and the Wii very shortly after, unless it was a launch game. I'm not positive though. I know it released really early into the Wii's lifespan though, very late into the GameCubes. And it's the same game, it was a port. And so people played it on both systems, and then, you know, that just kind of seemed to be a trend then from that point on. Because we got Wind Waker HD on Wii U, we got Twilight Princess HD on Wii U, we got Breath of the Wild on Switch and Wii U. So I think it would make sense for Nintendo to put Twilight Princess on the Switch. And I'm not saying it's gonna happen, I'm not saying it makes sense, but to me it does. So if you agree, that's awesome, I'm glad. But like, if not, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I just think it's likely. I think the likelihood is pretty high just because it's Twilight Princess HD. Every time a Zelda game releases, you usually have a giant gap before another one, and that seems to be a pretty good game just to kind of slide in there for people. It's been playable on the GameCube, on the Wii, and Wii U now. Nintendo sent me the game way back when, and it was a really fun time, but just think about it, like, there's so many changes that I feel like still could be made. I know the Wii U version looked really nice, but it really didn't look that upscaled compared to the GameCube or Wii version. I think if they rebuilt the models and everything, it would make it look really nice. Almost use like the Twilight Princess Smash Bros. Link model that they used for Smash Bros. Wii U and 3DS. Upscale the worlds, make it more immersive, use Joy-Cons, that is another thing. You can almost use Joy-Cons on a TV, almost how Odyssey had it, or Mario Galaxy. You shake a Joy-Con, Link turns into the wolf. If you shake it again, he turns back into a human. I just think it's one of those games that is bound to be ported again. I know there's a lot of games like that. For example, like the SNES version of Rainbow Road and Mario Kart, like it's got thrown around 4 different times now. So it's just one of those things, like, I think it's likely. I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but I wouldn't be surprised if later on down the road they just throw that in there and be like, hey, while you wait for a new Zelda game, here's this you can play too. I don't know, I'm just spitballing, but let me know what you think down below in the comments. Do you think it'd be cool to see a Twilight Princess HD port on the Switch as well, or would you rather wait for a brand new Zelda experience in the meantime? Thank you for watching, and I will talk to you next time.